everyone, and welcome to our accounting webinar today. So my name is Todd, and I'm a program manager in the School of Continuing Studies. I am responsible for the accounting program. I'm also responsible for other programs, full stack web development, information privacy, digital marketing, public relations. And I say all this stuff because I want it to be known that I'm not an accounting practitioner. I'm not a CPA. I manage the program, which requires me to have a general understanding of the content, but I'm responsible for everything that happens within the program, from hiring instructors to the integrity of the curriculum to doing these kinds of sessions, budgets, all that good stuff. I would say my most important role is to ensure that you guys as students have a very positive experience. So that goes back to instructors, the integrity, everything that happens. You know, if you're not if you're not sure about something or you want more information, you can always come to me. My job is to provide great customer service and to make sure your experience is a great one. So a quick little agenda. I'll talk for about 20-25 minutes or so about York University, just give you a 30-second little snippet on that. I'll obviously talk about the accounting certificates. I'll talk a bit about accounting in Toronto, in case you're not familiar with sort of the job market or things like that. I'm happy to share some sort of job information. I will show a little video on the live online format. Today we're going to talk about the part-time programs and the full-time programs, but I'll sort of share a bit more about what that format looks like. I'll share a bit about the CPA designation if that's an interest of yours. And as I said, I'll answer questions at the very end. So you may know about the university, maybe you don't, but I'll just give you a little 30-second commercial. York is actually, I think, the second largest university in all of Canada. We've got some amazing programs. Our business school is the #1 school in the country, which is amazing. We have a great law school, and engineering is really doing some really neat things. And within the university, there's the School of Continuing Studies, which is where I work and where this program is delivered. So within the School of Continuing Studies, we offer over 20 different professional programs, from accounting to HR to business administration to full stack web development to data analytics, a whole variety of topics which are really geared towards people moving on in their career or changing careers, that kind of thing. We have students from all over the world, which is kind of cool, and obviously we have lots of domestic students as well. And we have full-time and part-time programs with program options with most of our programs. So let's start with just talking about why choose our program. So obviously there's lots of other programs out there that offer accounting courses, and there are just some things which I think make us a bit unique. So we do offer multiple formats. So there's the part-time format for people who kind of balance in life and work and can't be in class 4 days a week and want a little more flexibility in their schedule. So we've got the full-time and the part-time options. So you can obviously choose the one that works best for you. We've condensed our programs, which is sort of unique, where most of the programs can be completed in 8 or 9 months. Especially the full-time programs are 8 or 9 months. The part-time programs are a little longer; they're about 1.5 years. And that just gets you to market, as fast as possible. Our courses are around, for the full-time, they're about 6.5 weeks long, and for the part-time, they're about 8 weeks long. So quite shorter than your traditional 13-week courses, which you'll see in many other places. All of our courses are approved by CPA, so if you're looking to earn your CPA designation, all the courses you take with us will, in fact, move you forward to meeting those educational requirements that they require for the designation. And the thing that makes us, I think, most unique is our format, which is cohort-based. And what I mean by that is the same students who are in course 1 are the same students in course 2 and course 3 and course 4 all the way through. So what that allows you to do as a student is really to build a community and build connections, from a study support system to maybe a job support system. If you're an international student or if you're new to the area, you obviously have some built-in friends that you can kind of hang out with and meet up with. So lots of really cool things about the cohort model, which we think really works well and is a real advantage for our programs. So in addition to our courses, and I'll talk about the courses in a moment, I just wanted to share a couple of things which also I think are unique for us. So in addition to the coursework, there's also opportunities for you to learn in different ways or network. And I just want to highlight some of the things on the screen that you might see there. So obviously some of our courses have discussion panels and things like that. We have a really good relationship with CPA, and they're always offering events and activities which our students can participate in. I would certainly encourage everyone to join up and sign up and register for their programs, which gets on their mailing list, which allows you to, again, network and do all these cool things. The two that I really wanted to speak about mostly is one is called 10,000 Coffees. So we have a relationship with RBC. If you're not sure who RBC is, it's the Royal Bank of Canada. And they've got this really cool thing where we pay money, so it's free for you as a student, and it's really about networking. So you sign up, you can do it through our website, there's a link, and they connect you with people in industry. So sometimes those people are in finance or in accounting, sometimes they're in total random jobs, marketing, HR, who knows what. But really it's a cool opportunity for you guys to meet people because at the end of the day, just sending a resume to somebody is probably not going to work as well as if you know someone who knows someone who can you can connect with, and that networking really pays off in the long run. The other program I want to mention is something called Level Up, which you see at the bottom there. It's by a partner of ours called Ripen. So it's not for international students, so that's one stipulation. It's only for domestic students. It's a government-funded program. That's why the international students are not able to participate. But they have opportunities for you to work on projects. It's up to 80 hours. It's on top of your schoolwork, but you can get paid $1,400 for that work. So if you're interested, you have to be a student in a university or a college setting. That's the only criteria. You just need to be domestic, a permanent resident, or an enrolled student at higher education. So if you want to Google it, it's called Ripen Level Up, and you can kind of sign up. It's free again for you, and you can learn more about the sort of program, and it's, again, a ways to get some real experience. I don't know how many accounting jobs they have, but certainly there might be some, and if not, maybe there's other things that you might find interesting. So who are our students? Our students are probably very similar to you guys in terms of you have to have a university degree to participate in most cases, except for the online sort of foundation program. But most of our students are university or college grads. Some people have some education in accounting, especially the international students. Sometimes they've taken some accounting courses, but most people have limited or no experience in accounting. And most people are looking to, they're new to the field, they're changing careers, they're trying to upgrade their knowledge, or they're trying to actually get their credential as a CPA. We also have lots of students from abroad, a lot of international students. And just a note for students who are international, the IRCC, which is the Immigration, Refugee, Citizenship of Canada, they're the governing body around work permits, which I know is important for many international students. And at the moment, they're saying that students who study 100% online can still be eligible for their postgraduate work permit, which is PGWP, postgraduate work permit. So know that even if your program starts online, you're still eligible to come here when it's safe, and you can then work towards getting your work permit and finding work and all that good stuff. So just want to make sure that's clear for the international students. Any questions about that? You can certainly send me a note and we can chat about it at the end. So why study in Canada? You can see here that Toronto is the second largest city in all of North America. That includes the United States. It's the largest, it's a huge metropolis. It's the heart of the stock market. It's where most financial things are happening, especially in Canada. It's also the best city for fintech, which also, again, as an accountant, you're not just doing debits and credits and doing people's taxes, but you're really being more of a sort of strategist and working in high-level accounting type roles once you get to that level. Montreal and Vancouver, the other two cities in Canada, which are the top cities for finance. But Toronto is by far the leader in the field. So if you want to be in accounting, this is certainly the place to be. In terms of career pathways, there's lots of ways you can go. You don't have to become a CPA, but that's certainly a goal which you should all be considering. But you can be a generalist, you can do budget performance, you can do financial reporting, auditing, internal, external, tax. So lots of different ways you can specialize within the field of accounting, which I think is kind of neat. And as you go through the progression of the CPA designation, they'll have you focus on certain areas so you can kind of specialize. And here's just a little stat on the number of jobs in Canada based on the job itself. And I also included the salary if people were curious about that. So you can see that there's quite a few jobs out there in the accounting field. So, getting a certificate is certainly a good step in the right direction, but it's not the only thing that will get you a job. Just because you have a credential doesn't guarantee you work. There's so many other factors, and those factors are like soft skills, teamwork, problem solving, creative thinking, having empathy, strong communication skills. And we try and use those, incorporate those things into our program. So you're not just learning about debits and credits or tax or auditing, but you're learning how to be successful in the real world, which I think is another advantage to our programs. So, okay, let's now jump into the actual programs themselves. So we offer two programs. We offer an accounting certificate, which I usually call the foundation program. And you can see there are 8 courses that you have to take. Now, the first 6 courses are all CPA required courses. So if you're doing your CPA designation, that's certainly moving you forward. The 7th and 8th course, one's the capstone, one's the business communication course. Those are courses which are not part of CPA, but we feel that actually they're super important, especially the business communication course, because that's, again, where you're learning how to, some of those soft skills I mentioned earlier, and those, are critical. And you'll even find, I've heard this from CPA folks, when you go for jobs, they probably won't even ask you an accounting question because they're going to assume if you have this certificate or you have, your designation, whatever, you're at a certain level of understanding of accounting. It's the other things that they want to know about. So that's why we incorporated that course. And the capstone course just ties it all together. But again, not part of CPA. If you're thinking of doing the advanced program, the 4 courses in red are the prerequisites for you to enroll in the advanced accounting certificate. So if you've taken Intro to Financial Accounting, Intro to Managerial Accounting, Economics, and Statistics, those are the 4 courses you must complete to be eligible for our advanced program. So if you've done that in your undergraduate studies or somewhere else, then you definitely want to start in the advanced program. And here's the advanced program. So you can see these courses are also all approved by CPA, as I mentioned. These are all what they call the core classes. They're a little more intense with, intermediate financial accounting 1 and 2, advanced financial accounting, tax, auditing, a much deeper dive into, high-level accounting concepts. This course also has the capstone the capstone course, which is not part of CPA. So just be aware of that. And I'll show you the schedules, but I'll show you the full-time and the part-time, since I know on this call we've got people interested in both. So what you're seeing here is the schedule for the full-time program. So this schedule is very structured. You have classes 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can see from this sample that you're in Intro to Financial Accounting on Monday and Wednesday, and Economics on Tuesday and Thursday. And that will continue for the duration of the entire program. So even though the course topics may change, the days and the times will not. So you can certainly plan around that schedule. Because the program is quite popular, we will probably have 2 sections of most cohorts. And the second section will run from 12 to 3 p.m. So typically the way it works currently with COVID, if you're domestic or living in Canada, we usually slot you into the 12 o'clock time slot. And if you're overseas, you get put into the 8:30 time slot, mostly because most of our students are from India. A lot of students are from India. And 8:30 a.m. is around 6:30 p.m. Once you get to about 12 o'clock noon, that's already kind of near their sort of late in the evening, and just not really fair for them to be in class at that time. So each course here meets for 6.5 weeks. So it does have 13 sessions. Each course, as you can see, is 3 hours. So you're in class for 12 hours per week. On top of that, I would budget another easily 5 to 7 hours for textbook readings, for assignments, for all the other activities you have to do to be successful in the class. So this is definitely a full-time program requiring you to be sort of a full-time student. So keep that in mind. All right. And if you're interested in the part-time schedule, this one is a little different because you complete one course at a time. That's really one of the bigger differences. Well, one difference. So here you're in 2 courses at the same time. In the part-time program, you're in 1 course at a time because typically those people are balancing life and work and family and those kinds of things. For the online program or the part-time program, when you do your work is really up to you. So there are very specific requirements and deadlines which you have to meet. But if you read on your textbook on Sunday and post to a discussion board on Monday and interact with your classmates on Tuesday and Wednesday and do a quiz on Friday, totally up to you. You can do it on different days, different times. But there are set things that you have to do, assignments, discussion board posts. But again, if you do it in the morning, during work, after the kids go to bed, totally up to you when you complete that work. And as I mentioned, it's 1 course at a time, and that's why it takes about 1.5 years to complete versus 8 months for the full-time offering. So again, that was just a little video to explain a bit more about the live online, which is probably more relevant to the full-time program. But again, the classes will meet at the regular scheduled time. You're interacting with your classmates, you're interacting with your instructor in real time. Some of the part-time courses will also have, some Zoom sessions where the instructor will have office hours or sort of tutorials and things like that, but they're definitely not as structured in the sense of they're every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever the case may be. They're just kind of ad hoc, and they're just optional. They're not required for the part-time students. For the full-time students, you're required to participate in those sessions because it's just like coming to class. Okay. I want to talk a bit about CPA. So for students who are looking to pursue CPA, this is the pathway. So again, depending on where you start on the time, on this timeline, most students will start with a postgraduate certificate in accounting, which is our foundation program. Then they'll take the advanced program. So between the 2 of them, that's about 17 courses you have to take between our 2 programs. Okay, sometimes students will start in the advanced if you've done those prereq courses. Then there's a whole series of what they call CPA PEP modules, which are just a deeper dive into some of the topics. And then once you complete that, then you're set to sit for the exam. There's also, I think, about 30 months of work experience required. So it's a pretty lengthy process. It's a pretty expensive process between our 2 programs. The PEP modules also cost money. There's definitely a 2.5–3 year commitment to get to the end. But once you get to the end goal, which is to become a CPA, then you really sort of made it in the field, and your career options are just limitless of what you can do and how people perceive you and your knowledge and skills and stuff. So it's not an easy thing to do, but the people that have it, they've earned it, and it's certainly it's a really, really good thing to have. Anyway, so you have questions about that, I can certainly do my best to answer them, or you can certainly reach out to CPA, and we have actually a rep who is sort of specific to York, and I can certainly connect anybody with that person if you've got specific questions about anything. Oh yeah, 1 or 2 more things. So the programs do have an application, so just know it does get competitive. We do get a lot of applications, and you have to have a degree, an IELTS score if you're an international student of 6.0. In January, for the people starting in January, I'm going to also be including a video statement of interest and a resume as part of the application. And just remember, if you're applying for the advanced program, you have to have those 4 prerequisites, which is the fundamentals of financial accounting, intro to managerial accounting, economics, which includes macro and micro, and statistics. So again, pretty straightforward. Submit your application. There's a $79 fee, and then you're good to go. Okay. And that's all I really wanted to share with you guys today. So I'm happy to sort of stay on as long as people have questions. I saw there were a couple that were in there already, so I'll go pull them up and start to go through them. So Mandeep is asking, can international students study this course remotely, sitting in their home country only? So I may have answered that question at the end of this sort of presentation by saying the IRCC has currently stated that students who study online, and that could be from your home country in your bedroom, and you can complete the whole thing and still be eligible for the postgraduate work permit. So the answer to the question is yes. And as IRCC makes any changes to their requirements, we'll reflect that in our program. So if they say, hey, you have to now, come to Canada to study, we'll ensure that students have that information, and we'll support you to get to Canada to finish your program of study. Okay, so the next question is there a grade you need to have for those prereq courses? No, not too much. I mean, obviously, if you get like D's in all those classes, I may feel like you haven't actually mastered the content, know the content. But in terms of just successfully passing them is really the only requirement I have. If somebody's done really poorly, then we'd have to have a separate conversation about that. Okay. Okay, so the next question is, are the seats limited in the postgraduate diploma in advanced accounting? My present accounting course at York ends in August, and the advanced course starts in September, so it's only a month. So basically, I'll say this: anyone that's in the foundation program that applies for the advanced program, you'll be accepted, unless you do really poorly in your classes, and I feel maybe it's not the right next step for you. But it's basically, if you're in the foundation program, I will accept you to the foundation program. It was designed for you to kind of progress that way, so I would certainly support you in doing that. Okay. Eden is asking a question. So yeah, for the people who are new and whatever, this doesn't really relate to you, but we did make a change in the curriculum where we flip-flopped a course from the foundation program with a course in the advanced program. So in your case, Agna, since we flip-flopped those two courses, corporate finance and the accounting information systems, you would just take the alternate course to make sure that you met the requirements. And you have all the courses you need for your CPA requirements. So don't worry about that. We'll just flip you in the other course. We usually schedule them to be at the exact same time. So if this ever does come up, you would just sit in the other class. So don't worry about that. Santhia is asking, how competitive is the program? It's competitive enough where we get a lot of applications, and sometimes I don't accept every single person. I accept most students, to be honest with you. I mean, to be transparent, I accept most students. But yeah, sometimes I'll ask for some follow-up information to try to get to know you better if there's reasons why you didn't do well in your undergraduate studies or something. But yeah, you have to have pretty good IELTS scores because you're going to be studying in English. I want to make sure that you're successful, and everything I do when I review applications is to ensure that you guys are successful. So if you're not, then I would want to understand and help you be successful. So Andrew's asking, oh, sorry, I skipped a couple questions there. So Jessica's asking, no, the video part in the resume is not going to be required for September. So that one's already open. So don't worry about that. It's only for the one starting in January. So yeah, for the advanced program, the schedule is typically at night at 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. I should have mentioned that actually in my slides. I should go back and make a note about that. But yeah, there's no, it's not an 8:30 class, it's a 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. class. So thanks for that question. Tim is asking, is a Canadian college 2-year diploma a sufficient prereq for fundamentals of accounting? We typically require a 3-year program. And the reason we do is because CPA requires you to have a degree, a 4-year degree. So if you have a 3-year diploma from a college, doing our foundation program gives you that 2nd year. Okay, so it gives you that 4th year, and then you're all set to sort of pursue the CPA. But if you want to maybe send me a note, we can certainly have a conversation offline about that. I'm happy to have that discussion if there's an exception I need to make. Jessica Finch is asking how many applications I get per year. Well, I can tell you that for May, I accepted and we have about 80 students who are registered at the moment. So it's about 40 students in the cohort. I don't remember for the advanced program, but foundation I think is 80 in total, 40 in each cohort. And I don't know, I probably get 120 or something applications. And every time, even though I approve applications, that person doesn't always register and join us. So I probably get 150, 200 applications that I go through to get me down to the 80. So how many do I not accept is probably more of the question you're asking. Like I said, most students I accept, to be honest. So as long as you meet the requirements, then I usually do accept students. Okay, so Shivani's asking a question. She's asking, is it a good option to complete the accounting certificate from the School of Continuing Studies and then do the program at SHUC, the Masters in Accounting? So that's an interesting question. So SHUC does not really recognize our courses. Don't ask me why, I don't understand it, but that's their thing. So if you were to do the master's program, there's no guarantee that you would start the master's program because the way that program works is depending on your past accounting experience, they kind of put you on that path where you belong. So if you need to sort of start at the beginning or in the middle or towards the end, whatever. So for our programs, even though you've taken all the CPA required courses, they don't recognize them. So you probably wouldn't even get credit. You'd have to start back at the beginning, and then you're just repeating courses you've already completed. So at the moment, it's not the best pathway, in my opinion. But you can certainly reach out to them and talk to them and say, hey, if I do this, where can I apply to your program and where do I fit in? Okay, so Andrew's asking, what's the earliest one can join the program? It really is as soon as the applications are open. So right now, the September applications are open. For domestic students, the May ones are still open, so I still have some spaces for domestic students. And the second question she asked is, can you switch from full-time to part-time? Yeah, absolutely. There's a small transfer fee, but we certainly want to make sure you're successful. So if you want to switch, that's not a problem at all. Samantha, I think I just answered this question, but correct, no statement of interest or resume for the September intake, so don't sweat that. Okay, lots of great questions, guys. Thanks. And I'm happy to stay on as long as people are here. So hopefully you guys, the ones that ask questions, are still on the call. So Tim. Oh yeah, so for the part-time program, it's 1.5 years. So each course is 8 weeks long. I think it's 8 weeks. Usually there's like a 1-week break in between courses just to have you guys, catch your breath for a second. So each course is 8 weeks. There's 8 courses in the foundation certificate and 9 in the advanced certificate. So the answers. So no, Andrea. So yeah, the IELTS score is just for international students. Obviously, if you're a permanent resident or a domestic student, you don't have to worry about a language score. I assume, speak English. Or if you're a permanent resident in Canada, you don't need to submit your IELTS score, so don't sweat that. Samantha's asking about the advanced program. I usually have about 60 students in that, 55 to 60 students in the advanced. I usually have one section of advanced, just the way the foundation is more popular. Not every student continues on to the advanced. So that's how that works. I don't really know the GPA requirements, so I can't really answer that one, Samantha. Sorry about that. Are business resumes accepted in order to be accepted in the part-time? No. So the part-time program in the foundation, which is the online version, is direct enrollment, so no application. If you want to move on to the advanced program for part-time, only part-time, then there's an application process, and it's really more to make sure you've met the requirements for the degree and those 4 prereqs I mentioned earlier. So Jessica's asking, I have a BA in a non-accounting discipline. Can I be accepted into the program? Do you mean, Jessica, the advanced program or the foundation program? I assume you mean the advanced. And in terms of using the courses towards CPA, okay, foundations, okay, yeah. So yeah, the degree doesn't matter in the foundation. It could be a degree in anything. So don't worry about if it's in accounting or not. That is not relevant. So I think I answered that one, Jessica. Hopefully it made sense. So Sage is asking, so Sage is currently enrolled in the foundation program, and he's currently enrolled in the 8:30 time slot. I don't think, I'm not part of that process that moves students from one. We did just open up a second section of the accounting because we had so many students. So it's possible you could get moved, honestly. The registration team does that. But if you have a conflict, if it's work or something else, you just need to submit some documentation. We can sort of, put you in the slot that works best for you. Yeah, so there you go there, Sage. Okay, so the next question is from Aindamola. Sorry if I said that wrong. Upon completion of the advanced program, what point on the CPA path do you start? The capstone, or do we need to take those PEP courses again? You need to take the PEP courses, but they're not a repeat of our courses. They're at a much higher level, and you start to sort of get into specializations of topics and things. So yeah, that's a requirement. They're kind of like none of the courses in our program, they prepare you for those PEP courses, but they're not a repeat. So definitely you're not wasting your time or money on that. Samantha's asking a question about, do you think a master's is important before acquiring the CPA designation? I'm not sure I'm really qualified to answer that, Samantha. My advice would be to, talk to someone from CPA, connect with them, go on LinkedIn, go on to different job boards and look at the different jobs you might want to apply for, and just see what kind of requirements they ask for. Are they asking for you have an MBA on top of your CPA? Some people might say a CPA is at a higher level than an MBA just because of the time length and the commitment to it. So I wouldn't want to give you an answer there because I just don't know if I have a good one, but I would definitely be asking people in industry their advice because they're going to know a lot better than me. Okay, Edna is asking, if I want to start from May semester, how does the schedule work? Yeah, so the May semester is exactly how I explained it earlier. I can go pull that back up if you wanted to see it. So this is the schedule. There's 2 time slots, a 12 and a 3 o'clock for the full time. But this is what the schedule looks like. So Mola, sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Yeah, CPA Ontario is the group that we work with, so you can certainly reach out to them. Ruben's asking about internships. So none of our programs have any internships or co-ops or any of that good stuff. We do have usually twice a year, like a roundtable sort of event, and there's a company that does offer our students some part-time jobs. As long as you're eligible to work in Canada, you can certainly apply for those. And that's kind of a nice thing. They usually have about 6. They hire about 6 students just to sort of give students some experience in the world of accounting if they don't have any. Yeah, Andrea, if you're getting your courses assessed by Wes, that's amazing because it helps me a lot, because if you're an international student, sometimes it's hard to always know the equivalent courses. So yeah, if you want to send those, that's fine. You can send me electronic copies, that's perfect. Yeah. So Tim is asking, yeah, I can certainly, we can certainly set up a time, Tim, if you want to talk about your career pathway to make sure this is the right program. The advisor is certainly probably a good place to start if you're not sort of getting the information you want. We can certainly have a follow-up call. But you can also reach out to CPA, like they're also going to give you advice. Hopefully they give you honest and transparent advice, and that's something that may not be relevant. Yeah, I'm always happy to connect with students and help them. But yeah, first step is definitely to talk to our advisor. So Jessica's asking, does the Foundations course cover Excel for accounting or QuickBooks? Yeah, so we don't cover QuickBooks really, not very much at all. There's lots of tutorials on QuickBooks if you want to use that. So yeah, we do have, we use Excel, or sometimes in the accounting information systems, we'll use an actual accounting software that we'll introduce you to a little bit. We actually usually offer an Excel workshop free, doesn't cost you guys anything, to sort of improve your Excel skills, because it is such a powerful tool in the world of accounting and budgeting and all those good things. So yeah, definitely not QuickBooks. Again, maybe mentioned in a course or two, but you're definitely not going to, it's not a how-to for sure, not. So Jessica, I don't really know, again, I don't teach the courses, and I don't remember, again, it's software agnostic, so we're not going to teach you how to use SAP or one of these other things, because people work in different fields. So I don't think it's actually it's tools agnostic. So you'll just learn about the concept of using the tools, and you'll use the tools a little bit. But in terms of teaching you a certain software, that's not the intention. And once you know one, I imagine, again, I'm not an accountant, but I imagine once you know one, you can apply the same concepts and theories to no matter what software your company might use. All right, well, thanks guys again for sticking around to the end, and stay healthy. Stay well, and we hope to see you guys in class in May or September, and hopefully if you're face-to-face, we get to meet in person. That would really be a nice thing. All right, guys, have a great day, and thanks again for joining us.